Today is really focused on outreach. How do we do outreach? What are the different methods for it? What does it look like? Plus utilizing the AI assistant that you guys have all had access to. I'm going to do some kind of real world stuff with it to show you how I use it, how I set it up, so that I get the most impact out of utilizing the AI tools that we have and the one that I put together for this particular group for you guys. So let's see, we're talking AI outreach. Let me make sure this goes. All right, so what are our goals today? Really, if you haven't sent out a message yet to a cold audience or somebody that you haven't talked to before, we want to go through that process. How do you do that? Making sure that we're comfortable starting conversations, leveraging our AI assistant in all the different ways that we can do it, and start building some commission habits, stuff that we do in our daily routines. And I know that you guys have been going through this in the in-person stuff. This is, again, just a layer on top of that to say, hey, these are the things that we need to do every single day. They may not generate revenue every day, but they are setting us up for tomorrow, the day after that, the week after that, the month after that, to continue to grow our revenue. And not just for us, but for our vendors, our business partners, everybody that we're working with. But before we do that, I'd like to celebrate some wins. I'd like to see, what kind of engagement, what did we do over the last week to see, what are we doing? How are things going? Did anybody do a social post kind of introducing what they're doing over the last week? Tell me, did you find a group, any particular groups that you engaged in? Share.
Well, I wanna definitely recognize a couple of our agents that are here present on this call. Nancy and Alma, I'm sorry, they're doing a fantastic job training and going to networking events, but I'm gonna let them talk just a couple minutes each if you guys wanna say something.
Okay. Well, I have been this week talking more in person because I love to talk to people more than the post. But that doesn't mean I'm not gonna do the post. Of course, I will do the post. I just need a little bit of time to sit down and do it. But I'm very excited because we've been bringing people to the office. People are signing up. We're getting customers. And gosh, we're moving forward. It's exciting.
Nice. Very good. There's nothing wrong with doing it in person or online. I think it's our goal is to get a blend of both so that we can reach as many people as possible. So some people are just naturally more networkers and they like to talk, and I get that. And for sure, that's a fantastic way to go. The online stuff is just, you can reach more people.
Yeah, that's what I need to work on. That's my next movement.
Hi, everyone. How are you, Jody?
I'm fantastic.
Wonderful. I have this week was a little bit of a hectic week, but I been concentrating on training a few of the agents that I recently brought on board. And I think that my focus is trying just to get them to learn everything. And it's not simple, but it is, with practice, I think it's going to get easier. And so I really appreciate the trainings that you provide. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. And it's good to hear. It's, again, small steps. I don't ever want anybody to feel like they're not making progress or they're beating themselves up. Every little thing that you do every day to move yourself forward is a step in the right direction. These are things that we can do to help. Again, we put this together so that we can create momentum and help people, get through roadblocks and find other avenues to move forward and to talk and connect and to, help to communicate this incredible product and offering that we have for the businesses, the agents, the community, and the stuff that we're in. So don't ever feel like you're not getting enough done, because you're getting done what you can in the amount of time that you can. And I want to make sure that we don't get into a position where it's really easy to do, where we start beating ourselves up about stuff that we think we should be doing that we're not. You're doing what you can. And if you have trouble or you need help or any of those things, reach out, ask questions, get support. There's lots of us here to help you out. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and jump in, and I want to talk about why outreach equals income. And again, this is not necessarily one type of outreach. This is just outreach in general. This is, why do we do it? What is outreach? It's starting conversations, whether it's in person, whether it's online, on the phone, email, it doesn't matter. Starting those conversations, because the more conversations you have, the more opportunities you have. The more people you reach out to, the more opportunities you have to convert those into agents or more vendors, or potentially a customer that down the road turns into an agent or a vendor. So the whole idea and the goal here is to amplify the number of conversations that you can and that you have. And then providing value. It's not about selling, it's providing help. Whoever it is that you're talking to, it's how is it that we're positioning you into a better light? Are you, maybe it's as an agent to increase your income. Maybe it's as a vendor, how do we get you more customers and more visibility and more attention to your business? And really it's around generating awareness, because people can't say yes if they don't know who you are and what you do. And that's the same with us. That's the same with being an agent. That's with being a vendor. The reason businesses come to us is because we help them generate awareness about what they do and where they are. That's the biggest thing that we can provide. Providing them customers is fantastic. That's the end all be all. But generating awareness about their business in their communities is just as important, because most people don't realize how few people know what they do. I'm on social media every single day with thousands of people that can potentially communicate with me, but there are millions of people that have no idea who I am or what I do. Even the people that I'm friends with don't necessarily know who I am and what I do. So in a community, it's really, really important to be as loud about who you are, what you're doing, and who you're trying to help as you can to generate awareness around who you are and around the businesses that you're helping, around the businesses that we're working with. So awareness is a really, really key part to marketing, to growth, to building a business of any kind. People have to know who you are. And the only person that's going to kind of make that buzz in most cases is the business owner. In this case, we get to help them with that. As an agent, we get to help them create that buzz, create that awareness about their business, along with creating awareness around what we're doing and around the XP network as well. Hopefully that makes sense to everybody. So who should you reach out to? And this is, I think this is a really interesting question, because I know when I first started into marketing and into kind of this approach, I didn't know who to contact. I'm like, man, I don't know what to do. Well, I've got three different pillars here. We've got the vendors, we've got agents, and we've got customers. And who should we reach out to? Well, the first thing I would do for ease of conversation is reaching out to personal contacts. People that I already know, businesses that I already know, that I've already worked with, people that I know that own businesses, potentially referral type people. That would be the first one. Why? Because it's an easy conversation. It's just easier to talk to somebody you already know. It doesn't feel like that big barrier that we have. Any active businesses, if there's a business that's actively advertising or actively talking about what they do, they're probably a good one to talk to, because they're going to see the value of this. And then anybody that you know that's a service provider, anybody that, whether it's a gym, pest control, hair salon, at lashes, doesn't matter. Whoever you're talking to, if they provide a service, they're a great opportunity to speak to, because you can have a real good conversation around what we do to help them get more visibility and more customers in their door. If we're talking about agents, friends, again, people that are warm, people that you already know that are open to, hey, I need more income, or I want a way to earn some additional income. That's a great first contact. Anybody that you know that's a networker. Almost said you like to talk to people. You probably know more people that are, networking type of people. Those are obviously great people to reach out to. And then if they know somebody that's a networker, bringing them into the fold. And then community connectors, people that you see online, or people that you that you've heard of or that you know, starting to reach out to them. If they run a Facebook group, something along those lines, those are great opportunities to connect with those people that are already building communities, already have people that they talk to and potentially they influence, and they're a great source of new connections and ability to reach out. Again, you don't have to do all of these. Just start 1, 2 at a time and work your way through it. And then when you start talking about customers, the customers that we're trying to pull over to the vendors, again, personal contacts, people you already know, people that you may have worked with in the past, people that you see are actively asking for services. I was just in one of my local groups here in Salina, and there were 3 posts as I was just scrolling through it of people that were actively looking for businesses that they needed help, or businesses that were actively looking for ways to connect with customers. So absolutely, they are on my list. Those are people that I'm now going to reach out to because I know that they're actively looking for help one way or the other. So customers they're everywhere, but they can feel like they're hard to find. You just have to look and you have to ask and then put yourself out there. This is kind of where the social posting helps, is putting the posts out there, talking about what it is and what you're doing, and that will help attract some of these potential customers to you. Hopefully that makes sense. And I want to jump to the next one, and I want to talk about warm outreach versus cold outreach and what the differences are. Because in the marketing world, in what we're doing, we hear a lot of conversations of reaching out to different people, and I'm scared to reach out to some people, I'm uncomfortable doing it, and that's why we have warm and cold. And I want to just break down what the definitions are so that as we go through this and we have these conversations, you understand what I'm talking about a little bit more. And there's a different approach to somebody who's a warm contact and somebody who's cold. And this can be for vendor, agent, or customer. All 3 of these apply warm and cold. So what is warm? Warm is that, as we were talking about before, warm is that known contact, somebody you've already had some type of a relationship with. They don't have to necessarily be a friend. They could be, but somebody that you've maybe done business with, you've had do work at your house, or you've done work with them, somebody that you have some type of a relationship with. So that outreach, they've already got some level of trust built because you've already had some interaction with them. Past business relationships, again, if you've worked with a business in the past, maybe they've, again, done work for you. They've done work with somebody that you know, some type of business relationship, and then mutual connections. Again, you may not know them directly, but maybe your cousin or your brother or your sister or your husband's, family, they know this person and they can put you in connection with them. Again, that connection helps to build trust and makes it a warmer conversation. And you're not starting from zero where they have no idea who you are and you're trying to get them to a point where they're willing to have some type of a conversation with you. So that warm lead or that warm contact is always going to be easier. When you're bringing on new agents, when you're bringing on new people, that's why we start with warm, because it's an easier conversation. People in most cases are afraid to reach out to business owners and afraid to talk to somebody anyway. So if it can be somebody that they already know, they already have some type of relationship with, it makes that conversation much easier, because if you're tripping over what you're supposed to say or you don't know what you're going to do, it's not the end of the world because they already know you. So if you screw up, oh well, it's no big deal. They're going to be, you can both laugh it off if you're going through it. And another way I would approach this, and this is how I'm reaching out to people right now, is, hey, I just want to run something by you because I'm trying to work on how this communication goes and trying to get your feedback on the process. And that is a great way to open the door, because now I'm not trying to pitch you anything. I really want to get your feedback. What are your objections? What is it that you're running that you see me talking about that doesn't jive with you, that doesn't make sense? And as they start asking questions, they get more and more into it. And they're like, really, this is a great opportunity. And now they start asking you questions, and it completely flips the whole thing around. It's a much easier conversation. So again, warm is the way to go when you're first starting, especially if you're going into a newer, say you've been talking to agents and now you want to talk to vendors. Again, trying to find somebody that you know or have some type of a connection with is a great way to do that. Cold outreach. Cold outreach is somebody that you have never had any contact with. You've never had any engagement with. It's a new vendor, somebody you found, in a print ad or a business that, you just happen to see online, somebody that you found in a group, somebody that you were at a networking event and you just got their contact information, you just met them for the first time. That is a very different conversation because now you have to build all that trust before you can get to the point of actually having some type of conversation about XP Network or what the opportunity are or what it looks like. And it's a longer process. It's not necessarily harder, it's slower. It takes more contact steps in order to get somebody who has no idea who you are, to get them to trust you, and then to get them to actually have some type of meaningful conversation around what you're going to do next and what XP is and how it impacts them and how it impacts the community and all of those things. Sharing all that, they have to know who you are and they have to trust you a little bit before you can go to that next step. So that's the difference between warm and cold. You want to have warm, and those are the first go-to, but the cold ones are the ones you want to start nurturing early because it is a longer process. It's just naturally a longer process. Some people are just on it and they're like, okay, I get it. I understand what you're saying. And the better you get at it, the better you get at the warm conversations, the better your cold conversations are going to be. But it takes time. It takes time for you to figure it out. And it also takes time for you to build up that communication. And again, social media is really great for taking those cold audiences, people that really don't know you very well, and start to educate them on what you're doing and who you're helping. And that kind of warms them up. So when you do reach out to them or you do finally connect with them, it's a much easier conversation. It's pre-selling through your content or your DM outreach or phone calls or whatever it may be. Hopefully that makes sense to everybody. And now we understand the difference between warm and cold and why we start with warm. So with that, I put together a couple of messaging scripts around vendors. And these are, I believe, all 4 of these are in the guide that I sent you. So not only do you have these scripts, and you don't have to use them verbatim, but I want to make sure you understand kind of what they are and how they're targeted. So for vendor, message 1, hey, John, quick question. I've been working on a new way to help businesses bring in more customers without extra work and thought of you. Can I run it by you? This is a warm outreach message. This is for somebody you already have a relationship with, they're in business, and hey, I just want to run it by you. Again, I'm not pitching them anything. I just want to have a conversation. And then the second option, hey, John, been working on something that's helping businesses get more customers without having to do more marketing. Can I share it? Again, it's just the goal of your first message is to get them to reply. That's all I want them to do is I want them to reply. And this is for vendor, agent, customer, I don't care who you're reaching out to. That goal, that first message is always just to say yes or no. I'm interested, I'm not interested, whatever it may be. And again, you don't have to use these, although you absolutely can. You could swap out the names and copy and paste these into, text message, email, or a DM if you wanted to, or just use it when you're having a conversation on the phone. They all work similarly. You just word it in a way that makes sense to you. And then the next one is for agents. Hey, Nancy, curious, are you open to something part-time that helps local businesses and pays a little extra? Again, it's just easy. It's just open. I'm not trying to be pushy. I'm not trying to sell an MLM. I'm not trying to get them into a timeshare. I'm not doing any of this stuff. I'm just trying to get them to reply. And then here's the next one. Hey, Nancy, quick question. Do you know anyone that might be looking for a side income helping small businesses? Most people are not going to say no to this. But and if you notice, the bonus on this is they will either self-identify or say, hey, I know somebody else that may be interested in this. So you could get a 2-for-1 out of this one. And then there's no saying that once you get somebody in and start having that agent conversation, they may know somebody that's a vendor too. So this is just kind of starting the conversation, because we have to remember the goal of any step in your process is just getting the next answer. It's not, hey, I want to sell you on XP right now. It's, hey, are you interested? Do you want to know more? Yes? Okay, let's talk about that next part of that. And then work them up into the stage where they're on a call, you're in front of them, whatever it may be, pitching them on the benefits of the XP network and becoming either a vendor or an agent or a customer. Does that make sense? Okay, fantastic. So what does follow-up look like? But if you just call somebody once, message somebody once, send one email, and never follow up, you are going to have terrible results. It's just the name of the game is how many times can you follow up? So I'm going to give a really quick example. I'm running a boot camp offer for our gym starting in June. It's an 8-week program, and I set up an automation to send out the email or text message to everybody on our list saying, hey, you know, we've got this thing coming up, and just saying, are you interested? Can I send you more information? I probably got so far maybe a 10% to 15% reply on the first message. The follow-up message of, hey, you know, I'm just checking to see if you're interested. I get more responses to that than I do the first message. So it's really, really important to understand that how you follow up and how often you follow up is going to determine your end success. And again, if you're looking for customers, vendors, agents, it doesn't matter. People are busy. We have to understand how busy they are and know that they're not always going to reply. Your message is going to get buried. They're going to forget, whatever it may be. So having a strict cadence, and that's why we have the documented paperwork of, hey, writing the names down. Who am I following up with? When? Why? And doing that and writing it down is going to help you be more effective as in the end, we're a salesperson. You're becoming a sales organization. So having a follow-up strategy is really, really important. So here's just a quick way of doing that. Whatever's comfortable for you, you can use. I would not go farther than this. I would not go, if somebody doesn't reply after the second or third, after probably the third attempt, I may give them a break and not reach out to them again for another, until I had some other reason to reach out, till I could come up with a reason in my head to reach out, especially if you're utilizing DMs. But if you're using phone calls or whatever, you may be able to do more than that. But minimum of 3 attempts, you can go further than that, especially if it's a cold. If it's cold, probably 3 attempts is the max I would do. If it's somebody that you already know, you could probably go 4, 5, 6 outreaches and not really offend anybody because they're just busy and they already know who you are. So and the AI assistant, the chatbot can help you come up with a strategy of, hey, how do I phrase this? This is a dentist that I'm reaching out to. How often should I reach out to him? And utilizing that tool to help you come up with it. So you don't have to think of all this stuff on your own. So what's the AI assistant? What's our XP AI assistant capable of? Almost anything you can ask it, to be honest. It's chock full of information. It is super powerful. I've been using it all day today. I used it all day yesterday. I've been, building a ton of stuff. A lot of the updates that you've seen in the Facebook group were because of the interaction with the XP chatbot that I built and I put all that information into. So don't be afraid to use it. You can't break it. All you can do is get helpful information out of it. So here are just a couple of things, and I'm going to actually go into the screen here in a second and show you some of the stuff that I do. But you've got vendor outreach. These are just things you can copy and paste into it just to ask. Hey, draft a warm vendor message for a coffee shop owner. Again, knowing who you're talking to, knowing the status of that type of conversation, it's going to be able to put that information together and help you out. Follow-up, create a 24-hour follow-up for people that don't respond. Super easy to do. You don't have to think about it, and it'll give you some really good options. And then cold outreach. Give me ideas for dental office owners. Because one of the things that is very true is there's different ways of communicating with different types of people. Dentists are going to communicate different than contractors and landscapers. They're based on kind of their education level is the way they're going to reply and the type of job that they have. If they think of themselves as a higher level business, they are going to communicate differently. So utilizing the tool to communicate in that style is going to help you get better responses. So let me go ahead and I'm going to exit out of that. So this is, and let me zoom in here a little bit. So this is our AI assistant. This is, you know, the community growth assistant has a ton of information about the community in it. When you hop in, just hit start, English, Spanish, whatever you want to do, whichever one works better for you. Hit start, and it's going to load all that information just so that we can get started. So that's always the way I start because I know that's going to load all of the files from the background. Now, to get the best output back, you need to tell it what you're trying to do. So if I want to say I want to create social media, I want to actually, I'm going to tell it who I am first so that it knows who it's talking to. It does help. Okay. My name's Jody. I'm an agent. So I'm, name, my role, that I want to create a 7-day social media campaign that's going to attract new vendors. I could get more detailed, but this is probably going to be good enough. And that way it knows who I am, it knows what I'm trying to do, and it knows the goal of this conversation. The better information and the better questions you ask, and I don't care what type of AI you're using, you are going to get better results. So learn to ask good questions. That's the thing. Again, you can't break it, but you're going to get better results by asking better questions. So I'm going to hit next or hit enter. And it's going to almost always cheer me on. That's just the way that this thing seems to work. It likes to be very positive, so it's always going to give me a positive response. It's a perfect way to create visibility. Fantastic. And it gives me the 7-day campaign for agents like me. And it creates the idea and the captions. So more or less, I could probably take all of this stuff out of here and paste it into a social media campaign and probably be good, because it's given me 7 days of solid information. It's given me the visual, it's given me the captions, short list of common vendor questions. So if I'm doing FAQs, personal photos, community events, there's a lot of really good information it's going to provide, and it works for anything. So that's, if I want to do social media content, say I don't want to do social media content. So give me 5 ways to connect offline. Say I don't like social media. Social media is not my thing. I'm not doing it. I'm not going to excel at it because I hate it. And if I hate something, I'm going to find a reason not to do it. So here, give me some ideas that's not online. Drop-ins. Hey, you see businesses that, you could possibly hop into and talk to somebody, local shop, salon, service. Fantastic. It even gives you the script of what you would say when you walk in the door. So again, there's zero excuse to not use this and come up with ways to talk to people. So the idea is to bring as many barriers down as we can so that we feel confident when we walk in and we can talk to people. It doesn't matter if we're looking for vendors, we're looking for agents. I don't care. This gives us tools to do it. Is it going to be perfect every time? Absolutely not. I am going to show you something that I did earlier today. I didn't plan on this, so I created for myself, and this is Canva. Everybody has access to Canva, because I was at a networking event last week, and the guy on his phone had a QR code on his phone that when you scanned it, it opened up a form, you fill it out, and it sent him your email, phone number, name, and all your basic information. Well, I took this and I went a different angle on it. If you scan this, it opens up a SMS message on your phone, and it will automatically open it up to send my business your text. So, and it says, put your name, email, and your business. So you just fill that in, hit send, and now you're going to text me your information, and now I've got all of your info. And I'll have it on my phone so that any event, instead of swapping business cards, hey, no, text me. That way now they have my info and I have theirs. So this I thought was genius, totally stole it. The best ideas are not necessarily the ones you come up with yourself. Steal as much as you can. So this is in QR codes. You can do QR codes in Canva. Canva will create QR codes for you. This is something that you can do anywhere.
Jody, can you give me a minute?
Yeah.
Since you mentioned that, which I love the idea to simplicity, the more when you are going through networking events, you get a bunch of people, definitely trying to maximize the potential of the contacts, right? The contact potential you have. And if you're doing, I mean, it's for the fact that you're not going to be able to talk to every single one of them, you know.
Yeah.
But I love this concept as well, and I want to mention something that we're doing here in San Antonio would have come up really, really good. I'm planning to do that with the entire organization nationwide, but every single time that someone sign up, we have one of our agent, which is Alma's son, pretty cool kid, and come up with really nice idea. So we're doing this keychain. If you can, sorry guys, you see that keychain right here? Put it
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a really nice keychain, right? So that keychain automatically is programming with a chip inside that it's going to take you directly to your XP, to the XP directory, because it's already programming with your link. And it's another way to say, hey, by the way, in case you forgot your business card, and we're going to start sending this to every single agent, every single vendor will receive by mail this already programming with their own personal link. So I think it's another beautiful way for you to tap up in matters of 30 seconds. You already send that person to your page or to their website directly to the XP. And people from there can sign up directly free as a customer. And it's a way for you to capture that information as well. I just want to share that with you since you mentioned that. I think that was a pretty cool idea.
Yeah, no, it's an awesome idea. And there's so many different options. Again, steal what we can. Whatever's out there is working, use it. We're not into one thing. We can do multiple different things. So utilize the tools that we have. You guys on this call may have something that's a different idea, and sharing those ideas is how we're going to improve and give people more opportunities. See, that's all it is. And the reason I did that QR code is just so that I can get their contact information. I don't know if they're going to be a customer. I don't know if they're going to, but I know I want their contact info, and I want them to have my phone number. So if I do those two things, now I can follow up. And that's, again, the name of the game. How do I follow up? So, and again, back into this, just ask basic questions, host a coffee shop, a coffee meetup. Again, this is something that they do in my neighborhood. They do coffee meetups pretty often, small networking events, stuff like that. Leverage service providers that you already know, asking them, do they know somebody else, and utilizing their network. Again, this is all offline stuff. This is kind of one-to-one stuff that we're doing. Local events, business mixers, leave behinds, cards at businesses that, hey, claim your free XP listing, and they can scan a QR code, takes them to it, they can claim their listing. So again, there's lots of different ways to do this, but my challenge to you guys is to use this tool until you break it, until you just can't get anything else out of it, and then tell me what broke. Because I want to know, because then we can add something else to it. But literally anything you want to ask about compensation, about how do I create a sales plan, how do I overcome an objection, if somebody says this, what do I say? This literally can act as a coach. It can answer questions at any point of your process. If you get stuck, you're like, man, I don't know what to say if somebody tells me that they're not interested right now. You put that in, and it's going to answer it for you. It's going to give you an angle.
And let me say something about that. We were talking with Diana today about that specific, how we can help the entire organization to maximize and use, our AI. And it's number one, as you guys know, Diana is doing an crazy, amazing job, doing presentations and doing training 4 hours a day, almost every day, Monday to Friday, and to support. Okay, this is part of the job that we do at the beginning. we can do that because we're here in San Antonio. But if we start growing, right, one of the things that Jody said right now, we definitely need you guys' help. Because sometimes, and it's good. I mean, please don't take it the wrong way that we don't want to take your calls and we don't want to take your answers. I mean, your questions. I'm sorry. So, but it will help us tremendously that if you have a question in the middle of the day, if you got something and you know you always can call me and Diana, and we always tell, but we need your help now. Like Jody said, say, hey, okay, well, let me go. Now it's in English and Spanish. It is now any excuse. We are going to add the boot in the website, actually on the main website, maybe in the next couple of days. So that way you just can go directly to the website and get it from there, right? And start asking questions. So you may have a question right away. And like Jody said, it's gonna help us to find out if we need to train more at the AI, even maybe it's a question that we not be able to answer correctly. So it's going to be an amazing tool for you to sign up someone and you talking to someone, you want to close the deal, you want to close that agent, you want to talk to the vendor, and maybe it's 9 p.m. And do not forget that now with this tool, you will have 24/7 support and it guide you all the way and answer your question to make you feel comfortable enough for you to be able to close a deal. So again, like he say, but you're not going to break it. So we need for you guys to use it as much as you can, because can be a game changer for your entire organization. Can be actually the way how you going to explore your organization, because the normal mindset, right, when you sign a new agent, okay, well, I know for a fact it's gonna take me weeks for me to learn what did I do next, when is the next training. Well, you don't have to wait that anymore. If you're talking to someone right now, in the next 5 minutes, you sign up a new agent. Well, they have access now. They can start training this. So I got a question about this, about the compensation plan. How do I approach? So I believe that adding this tool, it will be not only adding, I'm sorry, for you to using this tool, it will make a huge change on how you can actually develop your organization and your business portfolio.
100%. I couldn't agree more. And just to kind of add to that, and we could literally spend it, hours just on going through this tool, but we've tried to load it with as much as we can. Like the first 7 days, we've put a 7-day plan in here to try to make agents successful. So if somebody's new, they're like, oh my God, I don't even know what to do. What should I do the first 7 days to be successful? It's going to come in here and help you build out a day-by-day plan of things that you can do every single day to start the process and building momentum and building confidence. So this is just going to get better, but this, again, it's just asking the questions and not being afraid to ask the questions, because you can't feel dumb asking AI because nobody's watching. So I can ask as many dumb questions as I want to this thing, and it's never going to get frustrated with me. So just don't feel like you're doing anything wrong. All right, any questions here? Deanna, I know you were off mute. So did you have anything else you wanted to add?
No, actually, I was just gonna just add that we are actually implementing this in our website, which Chris already mentioned.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, so let me go ahead and jump back over here. Present screen. Okay, so we went through that again. Play with it, play with it, play with it. Now, going back over to the power hour. What was the power hour? We talked about it last week. If you don't have much time, how do you squeeze as much out of your time that you can? And engaging, 15 minutes, engaging with different communities. Find those communities within your group. Again, social media is fantastic because you can do this from anywhere at any time. You don't have to be out and about. If it's 10 o'clock at night and you're sitting in bed, you can do part of these things as you're getting ready to go to bed or first thing in the morning, whatever it is. So 15 minutes to engage, 15 minutes of new outreach, reaching out to new people. And this for an agent could get tricky. Who am I reaching out to? Set a target for yourself. Monday, I want to reach out to vendors. Tuesday, I want to reach out to another agent. Wednesday, I want to, find customers, whatever it may be. And then you're following up after that. But setting something in your head that you have, I want to do this every single day. Who am I reaching out to so that I know who I'm reaching out to? And it helps. For me, it helps if I know that, hey, I'm reaching out, today's vendor day, I want to reach out to businesses. That's who I'm reaching out to because now I'm in business mode. If I'm reaching out to agents, it's a different conversation. So I may want to have a slightly different mindset. Either way, you can do it however you want, but that's how I could approach it if I'm new. Creating content. Again, you could use the AI tool to create a week's worth of content and you just have to post it. So do that. And then 15 minutes of follow-up. Following up with all the people that you reached out to yesterday, the day before that haven't replied. Where are they in your pipeline? Follow up. Send that next message. Utilize AI to come up with a message for you so you don't have to think about it. And then the most important part, track your results. Write it down, track it. Track it. If you don't track it, it's not going to happen. And if you don't write it down, you might as well have not done it. I cannot tell you enough how important writing things down and tracking what you're doing is going to change your end game. You are going to have 10 times better results if you write it down and you track it and you're accountable, because that is your built-in accountability partner. If I go down and I know that I was supposed to reach out to 10 people yesterday and I have to write 0, I'm going to have a really hard time with it. I'm going to find a way to reach out to people so I don't have to do that. So tracking your performance is your built-in accountability. If you don't have somebody else that's helping you along the path, writing it down will help you get further. It's the name of the game in this process. All right, so what are this week's actions? What are we going to do this week? We're going to message our warm market, people that we already know, we already have a connection with. We're going to at least reach out to three or five new vendors. People, again, easy conversations, people that we know. If you've already exhausted that, go into your cold leads. But if you haven't exhausted everybody that you know, reach out to 3 to 5 new people you haven't already reached out to that you have some type of a connection with. Leverage the AI tool. We just beat it to death. I'm going to hit it again. Utilize the AI tool. Beat it up until it doesn't do what you want it to. Then let me know. Utilize the WhatsApp group. Tell me that it's not giving you good information, and we will talk through it. Track your progress. Write it down. And then expand your outreach. If you haven't done cold outreach yet, this is your time. Find a business. Find somebody that you have not ever reached out to. Make a phone call, send an email, send a text message, send a DM, whatever it is. Reach out to somebody. That first outreach to a cold message, to a cold contact, is scary. Most people don't want to do that. If you get in the habit of being uncomfortable and being okay with being uncomfortable with that outreach, you're going to be light years ahead of everybody else. So just being able to identify, hey, this is a cold lead, but they're a really good opportunity. I'm going to reach out to them and just say hi and just start building that bridge. Do at least one of those over the next week, and we'll talk about it again next week. I mean, you may do it tomorrow and have that conversation on Friday, whatever, but do that. Start expanding your group of people that you're comfortable talking to. And then bonus, aim to post at least one targeted piece of content every day. Again, you saw how long it took me to create content. I mean, it took me longer to talk about it than it did to create the content. So utilize the tool, create the content as quickly as you can, and then post it. Schedule it so that you're posting in the morning, in the evening. Early in the morning and later in the evening are optimal times for if you're only posting once a day. So that's a good opportunity. First thing in the morning or 7, 8 o'clock at night when people are at home, that's a good opportunity. So that's this week's action plan. Super easy. Again, it's in the guide that I dropped in before, so everybody should have that. So what are our key reminders? Conversations create commissions. The more people you talk to, the more opportunities you have, the more opportunities you have, the more money everybody makes. So the more people we talk to, the bigger our network gets. Use the power hour, use that consistency, build the habit, make sure you're doing it minimum 3 times a week. If you could do it 5 days a week, it's only an hour. I mean, we could probably find an hour that we're not super productive throughout the day that we could do this. And then AI is your secret weapon. This is the tool that is designed to make everything you do faster, better, and make your life easier if you know how to use it. The fear of how to use it is usually the first hurdle. Once we get through that and you start seeing how well it works, you're off to the races after that. So that's it for that part. I do want to call out the updates that we made to the Facebook group today so that everybody knows what's going on, kind of sees it as how it works in the funnel. We've updated the name of the Facebook group. The purpose of the Facebook group is to connect with new businesses and agents, invite your contacts, people that you've talked to that are not necessarily interested yet or maybe weren't interested, invite them to the group. Anybody that you think is a potential agent or a potential vendor or potentially even a customer that could turn into an agent, invite them to the group. The group is going to be our opportunity to showcase what we're doing and generating buzz. And this has the opportunity to explode what we're doing, because now we're bringing in, if I invite 10 people a day and only 2 or 3 of them show up, that's an extra 15, 20 people a week that we're adding into the group for every one person. And if you multiply that times 10, times 20, times 30 people, that's a huge Facebook group that starts generating buzz and a fear of missing out. Vendors start seeing that other vendors are really taking off and we're sharing that in the group. They're like, holy cow, I need to be in on that. Whatever they're doing, I need that. And that creates a FOMO effect where people want more of that. They want to know. They see agents being successful. They see agents bringing on vendors. They see agents helping customers out. They're like, I need this. What is it? How do I get into this? And that's when they start asking questions. So the Facebook group is going to be our nurture place to bring people in, to connect with people, to show them what we're doing, showcase how well it works, and sharing. A lot of it is going to be sharing testimonials. When you have somebody that succeeds, share it in the group, because now everybody in the group can have that same testimonial and have that conversation with the next vendor or agent. Say, hey, there's somebody in your position. This is what they did. This is what happened. So now you've overcome that objection before they ever had it. And so this is a huge opportunity for us to put information in one place that everybody has access to, and we can start building that group and building that network for everybody out of one kind of repository for information. So big opportunity in this Facebook group. We just need everybody to start pushing people into it. All right, so I will exit out of that to stop sharing. And we are 4 minutes till the clock. I'm going to open it up. Any questions, thoughts, concerns, something they'd like to see, something, I talk too much, whatever it may be.
Anyone, guys, any questions? What do you think about the training? It'll be good. Have feedback.
Well, anyway, so I believe definitely this training today was amazing. I mean, I think it was extremely important in how we're moving forward. So thank you, Jody, for all the job that you're doing on that. And I hope to see you soon. Is my idea probably to be in Dallas in the next couple of weeks. I already got lined up a couple of meetings there with organizations that was mentioned to you before, which I believe that's amazing. Timing is perfect because now we can come up and show them, the entire platform, the entire support. I love what I see behind you that say that AI plus people equals, I believe, is unlimited growth or something like that. I want that design, send it over, please, because I think that should be part of the group as well. I think it's pretty cool. Even I'm one of the first person, because I just want to make sure about this. I'm one of the first person that I was talking to, getting back. Okay, I want to make sure about what I'm about to say. They're getting back to the old school, getting back to get the people together, and we know that the AI depends how are you going to use it. That's extremely important. So the way that we want to use our AI, it's only with the intention not to replace people to do the job, but to actually train people, given the tools, being able to prepare in the next 5 minutes. I mean, once someone sign up, 5 minutes after that, you're getting all the necessary tools for you to start your own journey as well with XP Network. So thank you so much, Jory, for that. I truly appreciate that, man.
Thank you. All right, I know it's late, and I think we've covered as much as we can. Again, any feedback, any questions, anything that comes up, drop it in the WhatsApp group. That's what it's for. That's what we're here for. And I'm looking forward to any feedback that you do have. And I'm working on next week's training as we speak. I think I've got the next 5 weeks built out as far as what we're talking about. So if something happens and we need to change it, you guys need to let me know.
Amazing. Thank you so much again
thank you
for
so
your
much.
time
Many
and
blessings,
effort
man.
and all you're doing for this project and for us.
Thanks,
Appreciate
guys.
you. Mhm. Bye.
Bye.